Good evening, all. This is 9 Yankee 4 Delta Golf. 9 Yankee 4 Delta Golf. Name is Dev, Delta Echo Victor. And we're commencing another session of the DMR Caribbean Talk Group 969 Net on the Bandmeister Network. Net control again is 9Y4 Delta Golf. The name is Dev. This net meets weekly at 0000 hours Zulu on Friday, or at 8 p.m. or 2000 hours Caribbean time, local time here in the Caribbean. The purpose of the net is to renew our camaraderie among the ham operators throughout the Caribbean islands. And of course, we would appreciate check-ins from worldwide. The net is not limited to Caribbean operators, but of course, it's open to worldwide amateur radio operators. And I pause. The net is a directed net, meaning that all traffic, all communication should go through the net control, who happens to be yours truly, myself, Dev, 9 Yankee 4 Delta Golf. We would have a couple of presentations during the course of the net this evening, but of prime importance is to invite check-ins. Do we have any stations with any emergency or priority traffic? Please call now. Nothing heard. Do you have any stations on short time? That is, stations who cannot stay for the duration of the net. Please call now.
Kilowatt Uniform 2 Germany, KU2G, over.
Okay, we got you there. Kilo United 2 Golf. Nice to have you in there. Maybe you can give me a name. Your name didn't pop up. Oh, James. I see Jim. Didn't pay attention to my screen. Good evening, Jim. And it's a pity you can't see for the duration of the net. Nice to have you aboard. KU2G 9Y4 Delta Golf. How can we help you this evening? Over.
Yeah, okay. Now I'm going to be able to go off in the net from Kilowatt Uniform 2 Germany. Jim here in New Jersey. Thanks for letting me check into the net. And I look forward to it every Thursday, but some Thursdays I can't make the net. We had a lovely day. Well, a fair day here today in the 50s Fahrenheit and cloudy and cool. You need a sweater today. But everything else is fine here in New Jersey. And again, top of the evening to the net from New Jersey. 9 Yankee 4 Delta Golf, Kilowatt Uniform 2 Germany, over.
Okay there, Jim. And thank you so much for coming up here this evening and being part of the net. I should mention, and I saw Brahmi trying to check in there. Brahmi, just a minute. I should mention that this net is also being streamed live because of the presentations that are going to be done. And if you're listening and you're not part of our WhatsApp chat, you can head over to the DMR Caribbean Facebook page, DMR Caribbean Facebook page, and you will see a link there where you will be able to access the net. On YouTube, you will be able to view the contents, so the net has a visual component to it. Okay, thank you very much, James, for coming up. And we also had Brahmi in there, 904 Juliet Alpha Golf. Picking up your Brahmi, 9Y4 Delta Golf.
Thank you very much, Net Control 9 Yankee 4 Delta Golf. A very good evening to you. Very good evening to all the other radio amateurs on this talk group. Dev, I am on short time because I just got home and I turned the radio on. So, I still got to go and, do my stuff then take the costume off and put on my real clothes and whatnot. So, get something to eat and things. So I will be in and out. So I just want to check in short and just in case I don't get back in time there. Over.
Okay, Brahmi, and thanks very much for taking the time and joining us, although you're on short time. Really appreciate that. Shows a certain amount of dedication and commitment. But of course, being that the net is recorded and it's also on YouTube, you can always view the contents of the net afterwards there, Brahmi. All right, thanks again. Do you have any other stations on short time? This is 9Y4 Delta Golf. You're on control station. The name is Dev. We'll take a standby for any further stations on short time. Please call. Nothing heard. Do you have any stations now, regular check-ins? We now invite regular check-ins. So just to give you an idea again, the net is being streamed live on YouTube. It's linked. You can view it via the WhatsApp links, or head over to the Facebook page, DMI Caribbean, and you can certainly get the link there. So we now invite check-ins. We'll take a couple of check-ins, and then maybe at around, once the check-ins start to slow down, we'll move into one of the presentations. And then after that, we invite questions and comments. And after that, we will move on to invite further check-ins. And then once that slows down a bit, we're going to move on to another presentation, and that will continue until we have no further check-ins. Again, so we now take a standby for any stations wishing to join the jet. Any stations from anywhere, please call 9Y4 Delta Golf.
Zulu 4 Delta Zulu.
Noted, yes, Stevenson. Any others wishing to join, please call.
Yes,
Okay, dear Jasper, got you in there. 8B6 Golf Juliet. Any others, please call.
Whiskey Delta 4 Echo from India Bravo Roy Radio Ocean Yankee Report News Virginia.
Okay, Roy, got you noted. I'll go with these three check-ins. Good evening there, Stevenson, 9 Zulu 4 Delta Zulu. How can we help you this evening, Stevenson? Over.
Yeah, 9 Yankee 4 Delta Golf, 9 Zulu 4 Delta Zulu return. Very good night to you there. God bless you and the family and all listeners at this present time there. Okay, I called earlier to be on short time there because there's a little chat with the people there. So there's should be on short time there. So we'll be listening out from our far there. But everything is okay on the side and speaking at one the other time there. Go.
Okay, Stevenson, thank you so much for making the time and coming up here. Maybe you could just give me a little, check out the YouTube link. I just want to make sure the audio levels are coming through for both transmit and receive. And feel free to break in anytime and let me know there, Stevenson. Thanks again for coming up. And we move further north to Barbados, the lovely island of Barbados. 8B6 Gulf Juliet, Jasper. How can we help you this evening, buddy?
Good evening to you, Net Controller, and everyone else on frequency. A very cool night tonight. It's been overcast all day. That's it, over.
Oh, Jasper, we had a couple of days like that a few days ago, very overcast, which is good because of the intensity of the sun. Before they have the clouds between the sun and us there, Jasper. So I hope you welcome the shade you know. And I'm sure you probably would have seen the link on the WhatsApp chat there, Jasper. So you can probably look at YouTube as well. Click on the link, and it's you'll be able to benefit from a little audio-visual experience in terms of you know, the presentation that we will do in a little bit there, Jasper. So let me know if you have clicked on the link on to view the YouTube presentation as well, Jasper. 8P6 Golf Juliet 9Y4 Delta Golf.
for Delta Golf, 8 Papa 6 Golf Juliet. Yes, I will join that later on. It's a bit early, but I'll do that in a little while later. All right?
Okay, all right, Jasper, not a problem. But it's live all now, so everything that has been said here, it's relayed on. It's been recorded on YouTube as well there. So at your time, no problem at all. Thanks very much for coming up, Jasper, and making that possible. We move further up north. Roy, Whiskey Delta 4 Echo India Bravo. Any other traffic there from your neck of the woods there, Roy? Back to you, 9Y4 Delta Golf.
Yankee 4 Delta Golf. Good evening, Deb. WD for Echo India Bravo. Roy, Newport News, Virginia. And I really enjoy checking in. I will say good evening to everybody that's on the net tonight. And I always look forward to check in. Kind of missed Wolford. I don't know if he's had equipment problems, but maybe he'll get back on again. But it's been a very beautiful day here in Virginia. Very sunny. My temperatures did go up to around 80 degrees. Very, very nice, very sunny. No rain. And the present temperature as I speak is 72 degrees. And I'll be glad when the HF bands will start to pick up again, especially 17 meters. Usually the propagation is really good to the Caribbean. So there you go, sir. I have no other traffic. Thank you for running the net, Deb, and we'll turn turning back to you. 9 Yankee 4 Delta Golf, Caribbean Net. Whiskey Delta 4, excellence in broadcasting. Back your way, sir. Over.
Oh, I like your, I love your suffix there. Excellence in broadcasting. Excellent there, Roy. Lovely. Well, thank you so much for coming up and sharing your little bit of report there in Virginia. All the best there to you, Roy, and stay tuned for the activity. And like I said, the net is actually being streamed live on YouTube. Just head over to our Facebook page, DMR Caribbean, Talk Group 969, and you will be able to click on a link which will allow you to enjoy the visual experience of the net there, Roy. Thanks so much for coming up. We now take a little standby again for further check-ins without our traffic for the DMR Caribbean Talk Group 969 net. Your net control is 9Y4 Delta Golf, and the name is Dev, Delta Echo Victor. Any further check-ins, please call. Any further check-ins for the DMR Caribbean Talk Group 969 net? With auto traffic, please call. Okay, nothing heard. All right, well, we will probably move into our first presentation about hotspots and whatever. Unfortunately, my screen has been resized. But that's okay. We could adjust things to suit. So we're going to talk about hotspots. I mean, there are a lot of, on the digital voice world, we have a lot of hotspots around, and we always hear this term hotspots and so on. What exactly it's about? Well, we're going to look at basically the typical digital voice topography. Those of you all who are viewing on YouTube will see exactly what we're talking about. And in this little map that we're going to look at, we're going to have a little legend. The red line would be transmit. The green line would be receive, RF receive. I don't know, things got a little bit mixed up here. And of course, the usual Wi-Fi signal is that one there. So what is a hotspot really? Well, these hotspots, as we see one here on the screen, it really consists of two boards that are interconnected with each other. It's a Raspberry Pi. This particular one consists of a Raspberry Pi 0, and on top of that, there is a MMDVM board. Okay, I'm just going to write it here. It's Mike. Oh no, sorry, wrong keyboard. Mike. Just use some capital letters here. Mike. Oops, my caps lock's probably too low. Right, Mike, Delta, Victor, Mike. What it stands for really is multi-mode digital voice modem. So the board that sits on top, there are two boards inside of this device. One is a Raspberry Pi 0, which does all the processing and stuff. And the other one is an MMDVM board that plugs into the Raspberry Pi 0. Maybe in a little bit, I could probably, bring up a view of that particular MMDVM board on Raspberry Pi. So let's see if we can actually see what these boards look like. Here is a good one, but let me just look for, maybe I should type images. So we'll get some photos rather than some YouTube videos. But I am not getting any images of those. So the way I usually get some good images might be on eBay. So we just go on eBay, and they always have these boards on sale, MMDVM. And you see a good few of them coming up now. Right, so this is what it looks like. Here is a good picture of one. This is basically what it would look like. So here, down below here would be the Raspberry Pi 0, and on top of it, plugged into it, would be your MMDVM board. So this is what it will look like. So it consists basically of two boards, Raspberry Pi 0 and an MMDVM board. Now, what does the hotspot do really? Well, there's an antenna, so it means okay, I think I probably unkeyed myself. So let me just bring up back the right. So this is the MMDVM board. There's a Raspberry Pi 0, and of course there's the MMDVM board plugged on top of the Raspberry Pi 0 here on this little photo. Let's switch back here now. So this device, this hotspot, basically does two things really. There's an antenna, so that this is capable of some RF. So it will transmit and receive RF, but it also links to the internet via Wi-Fi. So the hotspot connects RF to the internet. And let me just zoom out and show you what it does now. If we were to look at the hotspot here, now this is a multi-mode device. Let me just drop. Right, this multi-mode device means that this one little device is capable of almost every digital voice mode. So right now it's saying it's on DMR. So probably this little radio is transmitting to it, and you will see the call sign and some information on the little OLED screen there. So this DMR radio is transmitting to the hotspot, so it will identify the mode. If after this radio is done transmitting to the hotspot, after about 20 or 30 seconds, if the D-star radio transmits to the very same hotspot, you will see D-star come up on top here. So the hotspot is linked to the radios via RF. So each of these radios, whether it be D-star, DMR, or C4FM, can all communicate to the hotspot via RF. So when the hotspots talk to when the radio communicates with the hotspot via RF, the magic goes on within the hotspot to broadcast that information via the internet. So your own hotspot will broadcast the information via the internet. Now, once the signal gets across to the internet, some other stuff will now happen. Let me just go this way. This stuff can now get to a repeater. This repeater could be linked to the internet. So anybody who is connected to this repeater will be able to hear your transmissions from your hotspot. Via the internet as well, it could also go to your receiving party's hotspot, and that will be receiving the signal via the internet, and he can also transmit or receive the signal from his hotspot or her hotspot to their various digital voice radios. So here we have the hotspot linked, two hotspots linked to each other via the internet. This is how we can achieve the digital voice communication via or using a hotspot. I'll take a little pause for any further any stations with any clarification or question. Please call now. Nothing heard. All right, we will now invite any further check-ins for the net with or without traffic. Please call. Nothing heard. It seems as though the explanation was spot on because nobody have any questions, which is great. All right. Just some little additional information about the hotspots. Like I said, it's a multi-mode digital device. We're going to zoom out on this so you get a full picture of the whole arrangement. It's a multi-mode digital device. So what this means is that it could handle almost any digital voice mode that you could throw at it. And this is one of the nice things about it. The software that does a lot of the magic, one of the latest software is something known as Pi-Star. That is what the software the Raspberry Pi would use. And with that, it will allow you to be able to switch all the various modes and so on. In another another presentation, we're going to see how we could actually use the Pi-Star software to do all the various multi-moding and using DMR gateway and connecting to XLX reflectors and all sorts of good stuff. So with this one little device and a radio, you can now not only speak from DMR to DMR, but you could speak from the hotspot, from DMR using your hotspot to C4FM, or DMR using the hotspot to part of D-Star, which is using the XLX and XRF reflectors. So it allows you some tremendous flexibility, once you're using these hotspots. This is 9Y4 Delta Golf. We take a little pause for any stations wishing to join the net with or without traffic, or if you have any comments or questions, please call. Nothing heard. The other bit of stuff that we would want to look at is getting started with Peanut. Now, Peanut is one of the things that is nice about Peanut. I'm sure in all the territories, there are a few of us who are probably some of the, what I would call the early adopters, who have gotten onto the digital voice bandwagon. And, we have the equipment to communicate with hams throughout the region and throughout the world. Unfortunately, not every amateur radio operator may have the wherewithal to probably acquire the equipment or probably to, set up the equipment. And this is where Peanut bridges that gap very, very nicely. So this part of the presentation is really for hams who have absolutely no digital equipment, but you would certainly like to participate in some of the activities that take place on digital voice. And this is where Peanut comes in. And before we go, I'll take a little pause. And I will do a little ID. This is 9Y4 Delta Golf. The name is Dev Delta Echo Victor. And we are on the DMR Caribbean Talk Group 969 on the Brandmeister Network net. This is 9Y4 Delta Golf. I'm going to take a little standby for any stations to join us with any questions, queries, or just check in with or without traffic. Please call. Nothing heard. All right, so I had the screen up for a little while, getting started with Peanut. It's three very simple steps. And I would strongly advise that you do it in this order. Otherwise, it will not really make much sense. So the first activity that I would suggest you do is to get your DMR ID. And I'll post these links up in the notes down below after I save the page and so on, is to get your DMR ID. And a good place to get it is radioid.net. Now, let me just look and see what that will do. If you were to click on radioid.net, this is the screen that you will be greeted with. But actually, there's another screen that says something about continue on top here. And you could continue. You can register a DMR ID at the top here. If you notice, there's the word register. If you click on that, it will say registration license amateur radio operators only. Do not register repeater call signs on this. And to actually register an account, you go all the way down below, click on I agree, and then just click on I agree, and then click on register account. And the first thing you will do, they will want to make sure that you will send you, type in the email, it will send you a code, and then you will then be able to go further from there. They want to verify the email. The reason for that is because once you are registered, your DMR ID will come to you via email. So just want to make sure that the same email that you receive the code is a valid email, so they could send your DMR ID to that email address. I won't go through that process. because I've already had my quota with respect to DMR IDs and so on. All right, I don't know why I'm not able to go back, but nevertheless, let me just take this word register off here. Oh. And we delete that. Okay, so we're back to square one. All right, so this is the first step of your getting started with Peanut. Let me just drop. All right, the other step, you must make sure you have a registered ID. Well, I think I'm not too sure. No, I think maybe you could, you could get the access code. You could do two of them at the same time. Okay, you can't do both of them at the same time. To get your Peanut access code, you could click on this link. This link here, if you click on it. If you click on it, this is what you will see. Okay, Peanut code requester, and it will ask you for your name. It's a little form to fill out with your email address, your ham radio call, and if you use any D-star reflector, you can put it here. If you don't, you could probably put just 1 Charlie or 30 Charlie, as the case might be. Click the send button, and this information will only be used for Peanut code requests and removed after you receive this code. So once you receive your code, again, this will come via email. And I should mention that both your DMR ID and your Peanut access code, you should receive these things between 24 to 36 hours. That's how long it will take. It's a good idea to do it, well ahead of the time of trying to get your get onto Peanut by downloading the software. I'll take a little pause. Do you have any stations requiring any clarification on what was seen so far? Please call 9Y4 Delta Golf. Do you have any further check-ins for the net with outdoor traffic? Please call. Nothing heard. All right, we will now go to the last phase. Step 3 is to download the app Peanut for Hams. Okay. So you go to the Play Store. If it's available on the Android devices and also on Windows. Sorry, iPhone users, it's not available for the iPhone, at least just yet. So go to the Play Store and you're searching for Peanut for Hams, or you can go to this link and it will take you, I'll click on this link. It opens up a window here. So when you click on the link, you see the same link as we see in here. Let me just go up here a bit. So you see Peanut stable here. What you do is that you download this here, Peanut 2.07 MSI zip. Of course, if you view this video after David PA7 LIM has updated the software, this number will obviously increase. But nevertheless, just go to this link and you will look for the MSI.zip file, download and install that on your Windows machine. For the Android device, just look for Peanut for Hams, download and install it on your Android device. When you do that, it will require a little setup, and you'll go through that setup, put in your call sign and so on. Once you have your DMR ID, there's a section, a little button that says Query ID, query it, and you'll see a DMR ID automatically populate. Save it, and you are on. This is 9Y4 Delta Golf. Name is Dev, inviting further check-ins, or anybody have any queries or questions, please call. Nothing heard. That's a very, very good sign. All right. We have one more presentation. But before we do that, I'll take a pause. I'll do a little ID. This is 9Y4 Delta Golf. Name is Dev, Delta Echo Victor. And we invite in further check-ins for the DMR Caribbean Net. Any further check-ins without our traffic, please call.
Kilo, Lima, New Jersey, no traffic.
Okay, we got that there, Mark. Kilo 2 Lima. Thank you so much for coming up, Mark. Any further check-ins for the net without our traffic, please call. Come on now, don't be shy. This is the DMR Caribbean Talk Group 969 net on the Bandmeister network. Any further check-ins for the net, please call. All right, nothing heard. So we go to the last segment of this little session here. And I happened to come across this thing purely by accident. You know, fooling around with the radio ID .net site. And there, strange enough, there's a lot of information that we could look at in by clicking on the database feature of it. So since we're going to focus on DMR ID, we're going to look at this section here. So let's say I want to see, for example, what's the how many amateur radio operators are registered in maybe G8 land. So G8. G8 land there. So instead of call sign equals, I'll say call sign begins with and do a search. So here we have the list of people here. Now sometimes, what I sometimes do, I could see like 360 is the start DMR ID numbers, the first three digits of all DMR IDs in St. Vincent. So I can go here now and do a DMR ID of, I could search for 360, and then I could say begins with 360, do another search, and of course I will see the same set of guys come up here. So it's a nice way of us being able to probably see how the islands are being populated with DMR radios. So I could do maybe G6 for St. Lucia. Oh no, not there. We have to do it in the call sign. Equals G6. But I'm going to say begins with G6. And if you do a search, here's our good buddy Franz. As call signs there. These are the guys who are on, or who have acquired a DMR ID thus far. 8, well, these three is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And of course, we could do it for, I'll just go on here to call sign. So notice all of St. Lucia start. Oh boy, probably timed out up there again. I apologize. This is 9Y4 Delta Golf. I should take some more frequent dropouts. The call again is 9Y4 Delta Golf. Name is Dev. I'll take a standby for any further check-ins. Please call. Don't be shy now. Any further check-ins for the DMR Caribbean Talk Group 969 on the Bandmeister network? Please call 9Y4 Delta Golf. Name is Dev. Delta Echo Victor. Nothing heard. All right, so we could go to call signs 8 Papa. Let's see, Barbados. Oh, using the wrong keyboard, 8 Papa. Then, of course, we could look at begins with search. And of course, Barbados is very active on DMR. We have quite a few guys there. You know, so they have it rocking in Barbados. Very good guys. Nice to see, you know, the group is growing. And of course, we could do the same thing for, I'll do DMR ID. Our ID in Trinidad starts with 374, 374, 374. And if I were to do a search for Trinidad and Tobago, it is fairly exhaustive. We're up to about 58 DMR IDs have been issued. So it's pretty extensive. So it's pretty active here in Trinidad in terms of, you know, guys getting interested. And strange enough, a lot of these guys don't have equipment, don't have any RF equipment, but they are certainly on Peanut and enjoy the best of digital voice. So this is certainly a very good. Let me just maximize the screen here so you can see it probably a little bit better. The various IDs and so on. So this is how you can get a lot of information on the radioid.net site. A tremendous amount of information there in terms of activity throughout the Caribbean. So let me just minimize that, go back to here again, and I'll leave this up here for anyone who wishes to see how to get the information on the Peanut app. I'll take a little pause now. All right, so this is 9Y4 Delta Golf. Name is Dev, Delta Echo Victor. Now invited check-ins and also looking for any stations with any that requires any clarification or want to comment or would just love to check in. This is 9Y4 Delta Golf. Please call.
I was here all the time checking in with traffic.
Oh, got you there, Steve. 9Y4 Sierra Hotel. Thank you so much for coming up. Are you following the link on YouTube? Are there, Steve? Over.
Yes, I was on YouTube and I just got the radio out, so I'm just on the radio right now, over.
Okay, well, it sounded very good. No problems here at all. And I know it's kind of late to ask this question, but are the audio levels okay on YouTube there? Over.
The audio level on YouTube was quite fine. I think it's much better than the last time. So.
Yeah, okay, all right, fine business there, Steve. Thanks so much for coming up and being part of that. Do you have any stations wishing to join the net with or without traffic? Please call over.
Number 6, Romeo Victor, stroke W284. No traffic, just stay on the table there. That's right.
Roger, 8 Papa 6, Ruben Victor. Nice to have you in there, Victor. I should say Stroke Whiskey 2. Nice to hear you in there. I'd see it's still up north. Haven't head down south as yet. But nice to have you in there, Victor. Any traffic for the net, Victor? Over.
No, not traffic at this time. Just finished my dinner there, so I just saw the lights there blinking. So I just said, let me check in there. Over.
Okay, great. Thanks so much for coming up and joining us there, Victor. You're always a pleasure hearing you there. Coming all the way from Whiskey 2 from New York. Take care, buddy, and thanks again. Any further check-ins on the net without all traffic, or anyone requiring have any questions or requiring any clarifications, or just want to make a comment, please call 9Y4 Delta Golf. Nothing heard. All right, I'm going to make a last call for check-ins, and then we're going to tie the ribbons up on the net. So this is 9Y4 Delta Golf. Name is Dev. We'd like to invite any last-minute check-ins before we put the ribbons on tonight's net. Any further check-ins without our traffic, please call 9Y4 Delta Golf. Over. Nothing heard. We had 8 check-ins. Well, myself is 9 persons being part of the net. The net kicked off with Jim, Kilo United 2 Golf. Then Brahmi was on short time. Both Jim and Brahmi were on short time. And then we had 9 Zulu 4 Delta Zulu, Stevenson, followed by Jasper, 8B6 Golf Juliet. And then we had Roy in there, Whiskey Delta 4, Excellence in Broadcasting, EIB, Echo India Bravo. Then we had Kilo 2 Lima Mark. Then we had 9Y4 Sierra Hotel Steve. And tying the ribbons would have been Victor, 8B6 Romeo Victor, Portal Whiskey 2. All right, take one last call for any stations wishing to join the net or seek any clarifications or have any questions or comments. The podium is yours. Go right ahead. Nothing heard. We'd like to thank everyone for being part of the net. Nice thing about the methodology being used is that what was discussed can be derived at some later date by viewing the YouTube video and picking up on the information. I shall be posting some of these links on the notes down below. So please like the video. It will be nice if you can like the video and give us a little thumbs up or a thumbs down if you find what we're doing wasting your time. Be honest and be part of it. At least we try to share our information. And feel free to come up and join us again next week, Thursday, when the net will resume at 0000 hours on Friday or at 2000 hours Caribbean time. This is 9Y4 Delta Golf. Going to leave this channel, Talkbook 969 and the Bandmeister Network, which has been allocated to the DMR Caribbean ham operators. Leave this channel free for general amateur radio use. Cemeteries all, and thanks so much for being part of tonight's network. This is 9Y4 Delta Golf going QRT Cemeteries.